Rob woke suddenly at 4 a.m., the same time his father always called him to get up and milk the cows. Well, that was 50 years ago, and his father had been dead for 30, but, the habit still clung to him. He trained himself to roll over and go back to sleep, but this morning was Christmas, and he just couldn't.
Why am I so wide awake? Why can't I just roll over and go back to sleep? I keep thinking about when I was 15 and still living on the farm. I remember Dad. God. Oh, I love that guy. But I didn't know that I didn't until that morning. It was a few days before Christmas when I overheard him and Ma talking in the kitchen.
Mary, I hate to wake Rob in the morning. He's growing so fast and needs his sleep. If you could just see how sound asleep he is in the morning when I go to wake him. Wish I didn't have to. Wish I could manage without him.
Well, you can't, Adam. You're not as young as you used to be, and you gotta be careful. We can't have you down and out with a bad back again. Or, God forbid, something worse. You're not a spring chicken, and Rob's not a child anymore. He's got to pull his weight around here, and it's time he took his turn.
I know you're right, Mary, but I sure do hate to wake him. Wish he didn't have to grow up so dang fast.
Well, when Rob heard his father's words, something inside of him awakened.
Dad really loved me. Imagine that. I'd never thought of that before. I'd always grumbled when he'd ask me to do something. Come to think of it, neither Dad nor Ma ever told me that they loved me. Well, they were always so busy, always so much to do on the farm. But once I knew that Dad loved me, I never dragged my heels or had to be yelled at to get up again. No, I might stumble around my room and pull my clothes on with my eyes shut, but I got up.
Well, on that particular night, just before Christmas when Rob was 15, he laid awake thinking about the next day. Well, they were poor, and most of the excitement that they felt about Christmas was from the turkeys that they raised themselves and the mince pie his mother made. His sister Annie always sewed something for everybody, and his mom and dad always bought him something he could use, like a warm jacket. And he saved, and he bought everybody something too. As a matter of fact, he already bought his father a tie at the 5 and 10 cent store. But this Christmas, he really wanted to get him a better present. And he pondered just what it could be as he gazed outside his attic bedroom window. And when he did, his eyes fell on the barn lit up by the bright stars, and his thoughts turned toward another stable that he'd heard about since he was little. One, maybe, something like theirs.
Jesus was born in a barn. Wasn't real nice. No, that's for sure. It's probably smelly and drafty and dirty, and it's definitely not a good place to have a baby. But a lot of people showed up, shepherds and wise men, and even angels sang. Well, they brought in gifts, the best they had to offer, even if they didn't have a whole lot. Why can't I give Dad a special gift too? Out there in our barn. Yeah. I can get up real early, I can creep out to the barn and do all the milking before Dad even gets out of bed. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll milk the cows by myself, and I'll clean up, and then when he goes to start the milking, he'll see it's all done.
Well, that night, Rob eventually fell asleep, but he must have waked 20 times, scratching a match each time to check his old watch. Midnight, 1:30, then 2:00. Well, at 2:45, he got up, put put on his clothes, crept downstairs, avoiding the creaky ones, and let himself out. And once inside the barn, the cows looked at him sleepy-eyed and surprised. I mean, this was early for them, too.
Never done this all by myself before. Well, I don't think it's that hard. What? Seems almost easy. Won't Dad be surprised? He'll come into my room, he'll get me, and he'll say that I was...
Time to get up, son. I'll get things started while you get dressed.
And then he'll go to the barn and open the door and go to get them 2 big empty milk cans to fill. But they won't be waiting. And they won't be empty. No, they'll be standing in the milk house full. Well, I can just imagine Dad sputtering something.
What on earth? This can't be. How in the world did this happen?
Rob smiled and milked steadily, 2 strong streams rushing into the pail, frothing and fragrant. And you know what? For months, the milking wasn't a chore. He couldn't understand it, but he thought maybe it had to do with the fact that this time it was a gift to his father, whom he knew loved him. Giving Dad something from the heart sure lightened his load. And when he finished, he covered the milk cans and he closed the barn door very carefully, making sure to close that latch. And back in his room, he had only a minute to pull off his clothes and jump in bed before he heard his father up and about. And then his door opened and his father bent over and gently shook him.
Rob, you have to get up, son. Even if it is Christmas. I'm sorry. I'll head out to the barn and get things started while you put some warm clothes on.
Oh, all right.
The door closed, and Rob lay still, laughing to himself. His heart danced and nearly jumped out of his chest. And when he could barely lie still a second longer, the door opened again.
Rob!
Yes, Dad?
Thought you'd fool me, did you?
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Thank you, son. No one ever did a nicer thing.
Oh, Dad, I want you to know I do want to be good. I love you, Dad.
Rob got up and pulled on his clothes again, and they went down to the Christmas tree. Rob nearly burst with pride as his father told his mother and Annie about what he'd done all by himself.
Mary, Annie, wait till you hear what Robbie did all by himself. He got up early, went out to the barn all by himself, snuck out there, and did all the milking.
How'd you manage to do that, Robbie? Oh, why, we practically have to light a stick of dynamite under you to get you up in the morning. Whatever possessed him?
Can't say, but it was the best Christmas present I ever had. And I'll remember it, son, every Christmas morning for as long as I live.
How thoughtful of you, Rob. You've made your father so happy, and both of us very proud. You're becoming a fine young man. Well, what are you waiting for? Get your sister and go see what Santa's left for you under the Christmas tree.
Rob and Annie made a mad dash for the Christmas tree. And Rob and his father did go on to remember that Christmas every year into the future. But now that his father was gone, Rob pondered what a difference it made giving Pa his first gift of love. Suddenly his chest started to tingle, and he felt a rush of desire to express that kind of love again.
Well, this Christmas, I think I want to write a card to my wife. Tell her how much I love her. It's been a long time since I opened up and really told her, even though I love her in a real special way, much more than when I was young. I've been so lucky to have had her love. Lord knows I haven't been easy to live with, and I don't ever make a fuss over her. I've let her down lots of times, and well, I've driven her nuts, I know. I seem to always focus on, well, getting things done and not to take time for her. Just like Dad did with Mom. She probably doesn't even know it, but my love is still alive. I need to say or do something that really expresses it so she can feel it.
Well, it occurred to Rob that his love was still alive because long ago it had been born in him when he realized that his father really loved him. You know, once that happened, he felt so connected and grateful to his dad. You know, Rob wasn't perfect. He could be a downright spoiled brat sometimes. But he knew that no matter what, his father loved him.
I never thought of it before, but Dad, he loved me unconditionally. But just like God, who knows me even better than Dad, who sent a real gift of love to another barn a couple of thousand years ago. I wonder if God feels excited waiting for us to open his present. My spending time with his son, Jesus, sure does make me see things different and act a lot more loving. That's it. That's it. Love awakens love. We can give that gift again and again. This Christmas morning, I want to give that gift to my wife. And I'll do more than give her just a card. I'll write her a letter that she can read and keep forever.
Rob walked over to his desk, took out a sheet of paper, and began to write.
My dearest love.
Divine love whispers to us all. Let's listen closely to our hearts this season and open a window to set it free. Well, we probably won't end up all milking the cows, but I'm sure if we really listen, we could each think of something to do for someone special that they'll never, ever forget.
Merry Christmas.
There we go, Mike. All right.